So yeah, the Confident Contractor course. How did you first hear of it?
I think I first saw you post about it on LinkedIn. Obviously, I worked with you previously a few years ago. Got in touch, stayed in touch on LinkedIn, and then I saw you post about it and thought, actually, within the community that I'm within, I know quite a few people that are interested in that. I myself was interested in it. So when I saw you post it, I kind of checked it out and thought it kind of looks like the kind of thing that I want to learn about. And obviously, I know, having worked with you, that you're an experienced contractor, so you've got the right information.
Lovely. What was the specific problem do you think it would solve, or was it a mix of things?
I'd say it was a mix of things. It's kind of, I've worked with a lot of contractors, but never really explored that idea myself. Having tried to kind of Google that subject, there's surprisingly limited information available. Yes, there are little tidbits, but there's nothing it's very difficult to know what you don't know. And that was kind of my biggest fear at the time, was I don't know what I don't know. So when I'm Googling things, I don't know how much I'm missing. So having some sort of structured course, I thought would be really useful to learn about it. And that's exactly what your course provides.
And did you have any expectations before the session started?
Expectations? Yeah, I kind of, obviously, paying for a course, you're going to have some sort of expectation. So my expectation at the end of it was to kind of be able to make a decision, feel fully informed around contracting, so that I could make a decision as to whether it would be something that I'd want to venture into at the end of. But yeah, definitely had expectations.
Cool. Okay. And on LinkedIn, I kind of flick between the 3 C's or Confident Contractor. Which one do you think sounds better?
Good question. I think Confident Contractor sounds better, but I also like the structure of the 3 C's. I think as long as you're explicit within what those 3 C's are when you're advertising it, then it might work better. I'm not sure. Good question.
Okay. I mean, for those watching this who don't know what the 3 C's are, they're cash flow, contracts, and compliance. And then there's a fourth, I can't count. There's a 4th option in there, which is confidence as well, which comes along with knowing what you're doing and gathering that information. And I think Dominic would agree with me when he said you probably feel a bit more confident about being a contractor now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. How would you describe the overall value you've gained from using the knowledge from the 3 C's?
The value I've gained. I've been able to kind of start exploring the idea of contracting a lot more. I now kind of know where to look to go contracting. I know potentially what I should expect when I'm looking for a contract. Anything that could be a red flag, anything that's a green flag, in terms of, yes, that's kind of what I'd expect in a contract. If it's missing it, then that could potentially be a red flag. Is it not included? Understanding everything that comes with it in terms of exploring what the company is, how reliable they are at paying on time and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of value, just feeling much more comfortable with the idea of going and exploring myself. As a contractor, you're kind of by yourself. It's a limited company, so you need to be able to understand how to go through that process to get contracts and go kind of actually attain a contract, build up your network. And it's kind of, yeah, a lot of the value of this is understanding how you actually do that, how you can develop your own process to be able to do that.
Sure. Okay. So a lot of what you're describing there is just the contract module. And during the course of things, we also covered cash flow and compliance, which come later on. So given where you are in your journey looking for a contract, that's obviously your focus right now. But that information is still there. And you've got the recordings as well, of course, of the other modules for when you need that information.
Yeah. One of the super useful things I think I found with your course is the fact that it was kind of open discussion. It allowed us to ask as many stupid questions as we wanted, but that just helped us build the context to everything. And we kind of might have asked things from a slightly different perspective than you necessarily were trying to put it across, but obviously same answer, just us asking it in a different way that it makes sense in our head. And that was really useful. Some of the kind of most useful bits were those open discussions around the topics that you were kind of presenting. So yeah, enjoyed that format.
Cool. We're also putting a membership site together. What sort of content would you like to see on that if you were to become a member of that?
on a membership site? Probably just keeping us up to date around the latest in contracting. If there's any significant changes that could have a material impact on a significant majority or the community in that. If there's any kind of government rule changes, HMRC tax changes, etc. Any potential new websites to go and find contracts, or the context that you might have, a place to just be able to ask questions as well. Obviously, if, kind of as you go into contracting, if you have questions further down the line, just being able to ask them will be useful.
Yeah, so one of the things I will be doing is a monthly Q&A.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. And how much would you pay for something like that?
As an ongoing subscription, I'd pay a small fee. Yeah, as with any other kind of tech subscription, keeping up to date. I don't know, £5-10 a month, something like that.
Oh, that's handy. I think we've pitched it at £8.50.
Oh, there you go.
All right, nice. Cool stuff. What specific reasons would you give for recommending our service?
Kind of already mentioned it earlier, but the structure, as someone who has an idea of what contracting, or what I thought contracting was or is, but not knowing what I don't know, and therefore having a structure in a sensible way that's really easy to digest and really easy to understand and breaks everything down that I can easily go back and refer to, just helps massively with the understanding. It's kind of a step-by-step guide. Like, obviously we just talked about the contract bit in terms of step one is where do you find contracts, how do you kind of sign one, etc. What do you need? And then you've got like your compliance, your legalities of it, and then your cash flow kind of comes in two parts in terms of you obviously need some capital before you start, but also how do you then manage it going further down the line? And just having that structure was really useful. That was probably the biggest selling point for me.
Great. And what type of person or business do you think would benefit most from the service?
Anyone who's potentially exploring the idea of contracting. If you feel like you've got a limited information on it and you can't really find much online, then it's probably the exact kind of course that you'd want, where you can have open discussions where you've said, oh, I've read this online. Is just, does this ring true to you? Or you can learn from someone's experiences, in this case yourself. We can learn from your experiences as well as having that structured course provided to us. So yeah, anyone that's kind of looking to go into contracting.
Great. And I've got one last question.
Right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Did you know there's a done for you service? So once you are contracting and have a contract, that we can look after the running of the compliance and the cash flow for you, giving you that level of guidance and security.
I did not know that. Is that a new offering?
It is, yes.
Oh, neat.
All right, more information about that coming out soon. Thanks very much for your time to discuss your experiences with us, Dominic.
It's all right. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Cheers.